are living in this time of intersecting fires, right? The political fires, the fires of, far right fascism marching in the streets, fires burning down refugee camps in Europe, fires burning down forests in the part of the world where I am. I'm in British Columbia right now, but we've been choked in the smoke from fires from Washington State and Oregon and California. And cities on fire with injustice and police impunity and violence, state-sanctioned violence and murder of Black people, including in their own homes. I say in the book, and I've been saying as I've been, speaking about it since even more, that we need to find our own fire in a moment like this, right? And one of the reasons why the fires are spreading as quickly as they are in the Pacific Northwest has to do with theft of Indigenous land and suppression of Indigenous knowledge that has told us that we actually need to live with fire. And we can't suppress it and treat it as an enemy, because fire is part of life. So I think within our movements, we need to always be locating our fire, which is the fire that rises up to resist injustice and cruelty and impunity. And unfortunately, we have climate treaties that have not had their fight. That's how you can have, a Paris Climate Accord that does not say the words oil, gas, or coal. So, I find myself, thinking about this treaty. I find myself thinking about that, the Zapatista slogan of way back in the late 1990s, one no and many yeses, right? Because I think that this is a big no that makes the yeses of those democratically developed just transitions, Green New Deals that recognize the intersection of so many different injustices and recognizes climate change as a threat multiplier, right? And brings some different constituencies and sectors and communities to the table to design what a Green New Deal would look like. Those are the yeses, and there isn't just one yes. But in order for them to be possible and meaningful, we need this big no, right? Which is going to keep the problem from getting so bad that there's no yes that is really possible, right? So that's the exciting piece of this. And, I would just kind of add that the moment that we're in, as bleak as it is, right, with all of those fires, when, I've been talking about this idea of some kind of Green New Deal-ish thing for a long time. We called it the LEAP 5 years ago when we launched it in Canada. When I wrote This Changes Everything, I quoted Angelica Navarro, the brilliant former climate negotiator for Bolivia, calling for a Marshall Plan for planet Earth in 2009 in Bonn. So this idea has been around, and it's gone by many names. But what I think is striking from talking about it now, as opposed to talking about it even 6 months ago or 7 months ago, is that the big pushback has always been, it's too much, it's too big, it's too expensive, it's too sweeping. Why are you adding all of these other, why are you talking about healthcare, and why are you talking about Indigenous rights, and can't we just deal with carbon, and trying to narrow it down, right? If there's one good thing I can say about the moment that we're in, and there's not much, it's that I think we get that every large-scale crisis contains every other crisis within it. There's no prying them apart, and COVID has shown us that so vividly, right? And I think the beauty and brilliance of a Green New Deal framing or a Marshall Plan for planet Earth is that these are moments in our collective history when, in moments of deep crisis, including deep economic crisis or the ravages of war, there have been these solutions on the scale of the crisis itself. And I think, as I said, just like 7 months ago, you would still encounter this pushback of, well, like the economy is doing pretty well. Why would we do something so big? Nobody is saying that now. At least in a moment like this, we get how deep in the hole we are on so many different fronts. And so I think our chances of doing something ambitious are greater if we can find our fire.